what's going on, fighters? It's Chris, Manafest, hanging out here at my home in California. I just got home from France and doing a business conference not too long ago, so I'm getting to kick it here at home, and was doing some interviews and just working on this book, which I can't wait to share more with you guys about on imafighter.net. This book comes out, well, the pre-order campaign starts March 1st, so I'm super excited to share that with you, and just the story. And some of you don't know my story and kind of what I've gone through, and I had an interview the other day. They were asking me some questions about suicide, and it really pricked my heart that I haven't really talked about it a whole lot. And just with my dad, who committed suicide when I was 5 years old. He struggled with depression and discouragement, didn't have a really good upbringing, and my mom actually had found him trying to commit it once or twice before, and he was admitted to a hospital, and they thought he was okay, and then he came out and he wasn't okay. And so growing up with that was really tough for me, not having a father, and I ended up being very shy and very timid, and turned to food, and gained a lot of weight. Just went through a lot of issues, and fear being one of them. And that's why I'm really excited about this book, because I talk about overcoming the fear and the stuff that I went through. And I gotta be honest with you, to me, suicide is just a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I'd be lying if I didn't think or say that I ever didn't have the thoughts of it, because I did have the thoughts growing up. When I, hurt myself skateboarding, I got dumped by this girl. I was in a dark place. I was in a place of just blaming the world, hating myself, and just like, oh, like, what do I do? And almost to the point of, why don't I just give up? And I just thank God for a praying mom who just kept on praying for me. She actually bribed me to go to this Bible camp, and the only reason I went there is because I knew there were going to be girls there. And when I'm at this camp, somehow, sure, yeah, I met my wife there, but I ended up meeting Jesus as well. And I'll never forget this man standing on this stage and saying, there's a plan for my life. There's a purpose for my life. And you got to understand where I came from. I didn't think there was a plan. I didn't think there was a hope for me. This punk little white kid from Pickering, Ontario, who's trying to skate and now do music. There's a plan for my life, like, really, seriously? And all I can tell you is I had an encounter with God there. And I'm not totally at all trying to, push religion or anything on you. This is just what happened. And all I can tell you is, like, weights came off my shoulders, and I felt this, like, warmth over my body. And for the first time in my life, I was like, there is a plan for my life. There is a hope for my future. I actually have a future, and I believe what that man said about me. And the cool thing is once I believed that for me, I realized that he said the same thing about you, and I believe that for you. And the question I want to throw out there is, do you believe it for yourself? Do you believe that there's a plan for yourself? And maybe you're saying, oh, Chris, it's easy for you to say, you're doing music, and everything's great for you now, and you travel the world, but you know what? I have depressed thoughts still all the time, and I got to learn how to deal with those thoughts and deal with that discouragement or negative thinking. And what I've just come to realize is, like, we're always going to have problems. There's always going to be issues and things that go wrong. But the cool thing is being given the most amazing gift, and that's the power of choice and how we choose to respond when crap goes down. Because honestly, crap just continues to happen, but we have the choice how we want to respond to it. I heard this story about a man who met this famous author who wrote The Positive Power, The Power of Positive Thinking. And he's like, oh my gosh, you wrote that book. Can you help me out, man? Because I'm, like, so discouraged, and I have all these problems. And then Norman Vincent Peale says, well, I just came from a whole people who don't have any problems at all anymore. And the guy's like, what? Really? He's like, well, take me to them. And he's like, the Westgate Cemetery. And the guy's like, what? He's like, hey, the only people that don't have problems are dead people. And actually, problems are a sign of life. And I don't mean to at all make fun of that or make a joke about problems or whatever, because you know what? You might be going through a crazy situation that I couldn't possibly understand. And you know what? I don't know your story. But I want to encourage you to never give up, no matter how many times you've fallen down. One of the things I held on to were King Solomon's words, who said, even though a righteous man falls down 7 times, he gets up and goes again. And when you fall down again, you get up and go again. So I just hope that totally inspires and encourages you to know, that there's a plan for your life. Doesn't mean things are always going to be easy, but you know what? I promise you, things will get better. You dream big, you dream believing and knowing that there's something awesome in store for you. I'm Chris, Manafest. I'm honored that you guys are watching this. We got a whole bunch more stuff coming up. Again, I'm really excited about this book, Fighter, because I talk about the 5 keys of overcoming fear and reaching your dreams. And part of that was your mindset and overcoming those negative thoughts and having courage and persevering and getting discipline, and then the willpower to keep going and knowing what you're all about. So hey, make sure you send your questions in to questions@manafest.net, and I hope to see you guys at a show or just somewhere along the road. Peace.